Gainz Nation, what do you think? Cleanly shaved Roman, or you like a more burly Roman?
I mean, no disrespect. I think you and I with the facial hairs, on that scale is like very rough. I wish it wasn't this way. Hey, at least I'm in the same boat. I'm not saying anything that's different to me. It's the same as me.
Yeah, no bueno. I look. It's so funny because like a lot of my like cultural background, if that's what you want to call it, heritage, ethnicity, geographical location where my ancestors grew up kind of comes out when I grow out my beard. Like, for example, a lot of my, I'm gonna put the dogs out. A lot of my like facial hair will get like little red streaks in it from like my Irish like background apparently. It's super weird. Like my facial hair is so awkward. It'll be like some black hairs, some brown hairs, some red hairs, some blonde hairs, some white hairs because I'm getting old. So yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look good though. It looks like very unkempt.
Yeah, and it comes out like pointy. It doesn't it doesn't really ever come out like smooth, where it's like a lot of people like either have like curls or like it like comes down. Ours are just like bing 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 bing.
It's something else. I've never been able to grow a lot of facial hair, and when I grow it out, it looks awkward. Maybe I'll have to post what my COVID beard looked like. It was so bad. I just like gave up. But yeah.
I wonder if there's like a correlation with like people like, well, you also see too like I don't think this is gonna happen to me, but you also see like people who don't grow good facial hair, and then all of a sudden they like lose their hair or whatever, and then they have like a beard and it looks magnificent, and then you look at me like my hair is like, I mean, you could tell like it's like gone, and I got the LeBron James haircut going on, and I don't think it's gonna ever happen. I don't think so.
I could definitely have paid like more attention to it, and like I don't know, product in it, but I wouldn't even know where to begin to do something like that. To be honest with you, so yeah, it's a sight for sore eyes. I'll have to post so Gainz Nation can comment. it's something interesting.
Yeah, and then what's been going on with you, Roman? What's been new with you? You did text me yesterday. You did have a run. You did go out for a run. How did that go? And how's like training been going for you?
It was more of a walk. Yeah, my brother was like, I can't run right now. I was like, all right, that's fine. We'll go for a walk. So we went for like maybe like a 2-mile walk. It was good. Working out's been pretty good. Worked up to 135 by 6 on squats the other day. Nice and slow and controlled. That I posted that. Still not pain free. Weirdly enough, I kind of feel that same like dull lower abdominal pain on like my right side now. So progress. No, I think I'm just sore. I'm doing a challenge. I still don't want to reveal a challenge until I'm done, but I'm doing a challenge. So that could be playing a part. I doubt it. I think that's why I'm sore in like other places. But training's going pretty good. Actually, I just got off the phone with a couple buddies. I'm gonna meet up with a couple of them probably after this, and then it's gonna be my first time hitting the gym in like maybe since October, because I've just been working out in the basement. I think since October. And I think
you're gonna go guest into an actual gym today?
Yeah. I'm just gonna do like a day pass. But I do want to talk to them about, because that's the gym that I want to like go to. They do like a family plan situation, so I just want to inquire about that as well. I'm gonna try and hit up chest, shoulders, and triceps, I think.
Yeah, it's. I feel like it's a good change of pace. I mean, like I only did it during like the COVID times, with like working out at home, but like I could see why it'd be a change of pace and like how nice it'd be. to do that. And also too, working out with friends too. It's like always so fun. Like working out in general with like people. But also too, it's like cool to like work out by yourself. Like by all means, like I still have a fun time just working out by myself too. Like, there's nothing holding you back. There's nothing like, I don't know, in your way, I guess. But no, I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah.
And then is it like a far drive? Is it pretty close by or?
It's like 15 minutes. It's across town. So no, not far.
Yeah, Roman lives on like an island, so he has to like take his canoe and then he has to like pretty much row to like the grocery store, the gym. So that's why he works out at home.
It's not that bad.
Can you imagine like how crazy the temperature, like the extremes where you live? It's like, can you imagine that's like your only like transportation?
There actually are some places like close by because there's so many like little islands off the Cape that people like actually do have to do that. I don't think they like actually row. I'm sure they do from time to time, but usually they'll just catch like the island ferry or the island queen or something like that. Or
And
like
they go out in the water when it's like freezing.
yeah, of course.
See,
They
that's
have
like that's something that's like so cool because I mean Michigan. So I mean, like the closest like island type thing by me, it's like Mackinac Island in Michigan.
yeah.
I've never been, but like I wonder if that's like I wonder if you can get there by road. So I don't know,
I
but
don't think, and the reason being,
oh, they don't want cars in the island. That's why.
yeah.
Yeah. So no, I think you do have to take a ferry. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's kind of like that. Like, well, but then again, they probably have grocery stores on the island, so it's not like that completely. Like Roman's talking about, like if like a person had like a couple houses on like a small island, there's not gonna be a grocery store or anything. It's like dang. So how do they like drive and stuff?
You just gotta stock up. Oh, people will park. They'll park either at
Like on the other side.
yeah. They'll park in Falmouth or they'll park in Woods Hole or something like that.
See,
And they'll
that
just
blows my mind. That blows my mind. It's like, can you imagine like just parking somewhere that's like across is it the ocean or is it what
yeah.
water?
That's the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, so it's like, isn't that crazy to think like your vehicle is like on the other side of island while you're just like living in just like, you know, in a place where it's like kind of remote compared to everyone else. So it's like you can't just leave and go on your car. You have to like take the boat to your car. So it's like, man, those people are, man, that is a life that I don't think I ever will live. That's like, I mean,
Yeah.
I bet most of those houses and stuff are probably a lot of money though if they tried selling them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like at least in like the upper like probably 700,000 to like million plus range. And like there's definitely houses over there, but my brother and I were looking at them just for like shins and grins, like way back in the day. And we were like, dang, that like 1,400 square foot cape costs that much. But yeah, I mean, you get used to just like anything. Like it was culture shock when I moved to Chicago, and it was like street parking. Like you don't park in a driveway. Like
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I don't have to live that life, but yes, that's probably a culture shock even to me, and I don't live that life. So
oh my God, parking down the street, and you're like, you like have to walk a mile to get to your apartment. You're like, my God, I better figure out this whole parking situation because this is not working.
yeah, I mean, thankfully, like Sam's brother has been living in the city, but like that's like visiting him. It's like every time we do, we just had to. Thankfully, his like place they have a lot closer parking where it's like you don't have to walk like a mile, and it's not like too. It's Wicker Park, so it's like not that busy of a city, I guess, sort of say. But yeah, that's interesting. But let us
Yeah.
know how that lift goes, buddy. Yeah, before we get into it, I guess I could talk my side too before we get into.
Yeah.
I did. I don't remember where we left off with the jiu-jitsu stuff, but I did do um, maybe another class or two. I don't know what I said the last episode or what. I can't remember like the time frame. But no, that stuff's been doing pretty good. I really like it. Just bought a gi. So I just tried it on yesterday, but I won't be going back right away. But Gainz Nation, I did want to mention that I did have my wife had our first kid this past Sunday, so Gainz Nation, there'll be another Gainz member in the family. So um, so we're trying to work on that and trying to figure that life situation first. But the jiu-jitsu side, I'll probably just put it on the back burner for now, and once I figure things out, probably go back to it. I think I really like it. And there was a whole idea in the first part. They do a week free at this place, so it's like I was able to get my my feet wet into the sport before like I paid any money, which is like really good. Like all I had to do was sign a waiver, and like I said before, my friends go there, so it's like I already know like the expectations. Like I know like like what goes down, so it's like pretty nice to have that. And happy to do that when I get back. And training's been interesting. So just I still been going to the gym, but try to rush back as much as possible to help out. But thankfully, maybe we should make that into an episode one of these days. I would love to. We probably talked about it, but like making time and like having a supporting, wife, husband, partner, whatever you want to call it, like making that an episode of itself, because I'm only able to do this because of the fact that there's like support behind it. So it's like, a lot of people don't like are able to do this because they either like shy away from it, they fall off the wagon, other a lot of reasons, which I think Roman and I could probably do a podcast about it. So we probably won't talk about too much today. But it's always good to have that. And like, obviously, in my opinion, if you want to start a family, I think trying to be as healthy as possible for them is probably a good problem to have, or a good motive, I guess. So it's like one of those things. And I want to be around for like a long time with my health. So that's why we work out. And Roman will tell you the same thing. He wants to be here for a while, right? And be like strong and strong and be able to do things. So yeah. Gainz.
Gainz.
Yeah, the only person honestly on the podcast that had a kid that on the podcast was Joe. So, or that has kids. So
yeah, true.
It'd be nice to talk about those conversations. And then a buddy of ours, well, I could say the name because he doesn't work for the company we work for, but our buddy Alex, we're gonna try to get him on the podcast. He just actually just quit, and now he's doing the fitness thing full time. So
wow, really? Congrats.
He posted on his Instagram, but I don't know how much you're on there. So, and he reached out to me and told me, but we're gonna have him on the podcast because very inspiring story of his, and I think a lot of people can learn. I think, man, I'm kind of jealous myself, to be honest, but I really like his path, and I think he's doing a really good job. And he's the one who does like functional fitness, and then he just did his second powerlifting meet, and then he's a coach and everything for, I guess you would say, functional fitness coach. Maybe I'm getting that wrong, but it's more like movement based, like strength, like how I'll do like farmer carries. It's like more like kettlebell swings. Unstable shoulder stability walks, where it's like you have the higher weight standing up in the air with your right arm, left arm, you're holding it in like a front squat rack position, stuff like that, that he coaches, which he's actually helped me do those things. So that's why you'll see me do like weird things like that, because most of the stuff is like him suggesting it to me, or just saying like, hey, Antoine, you'd probably like this, try it. And that's why on my I guess newer full body split, that's why like on Sundays, like the motive of the day is pretty much just like functional fitness and like whatever I want to do kind of, and the rest is all like powerlifting, bodybuilding stuff. So it's like, like, hey, if I want to do sled pulls, sled pushes, then I'm going to do it. If I'm going to do farmer carries, I'll do it. I don't really have any others right now, but like, like if I wanted to swing a kettlebell that day, I'll do it. It's like those things I think those things are interesting to what I do, because most of the stuff I do is like one motion, it's, more like, but either way, back to the point, Roman, what are we talking about today? And let's get back into it because we got like 15 minutes. I want to make sure we give this topic a little bit of time instead of us rambling on. So
we're talking about why you, Gainz Nation, should eat more protein.
Protein. I don't think I've ever eaten one of those in my life.
What the heck is a protein? So I actually I created like a little itemized list of things that we can kind of go over. Some of them probably seem like pretty straightforward, but some of them, looking into it, I was like I'm pretty happy to bring this information to Gainz Nation. So I can kind of go over those if you want, buddy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Break them down one by one,
yeah.
or overall 4, and then we can break them down. So the first reason why we would recommend that you eat more protein is if you're dieting, if you're trying to lose. So consuming more protein can assist with satiation or helping you feel full. Typically for bodybuilders, if they're getting deep into their prep when they are cutting, they will consume anywhere between like 2.5 to 3.0 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So for pound, that's about 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So for me, on the upper end of things, because I do plan to do like a little mini cut sometime in April, ending sometime early to mid-May, before I go to Florida, just for funsies, just because I want to do it. I kind of want to see like where I'm at. I guess I'm technically like in a little mini gaining phase, but it's kind of been like maintenance / gaining. But and I've been very loose with like weighing myself. But just as an example, I was pretty consistently around like 153 to 155 over the summer, and I'm around like 160, 161, 162 now. So probably just looking to cut like 10 pounds of fat, give or take, in like a 4 to 6 week period. So
and it's real quickly, Roman, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So if like Roman was like calculating like how he was just saying like even if you just did like 1 gram per body weight for protein, that's 100. Like I just did off 160 pounds because I know you mentioned like a couple weights there, but that's only like 640 calories for 160 grams, which isn't a bad like if you look at like the normal daily average that you see on like nutrition facts of 2,000 calories, like that's not bad. I mean, you still got about 1,360 calories for carbohydrates and fats, because we know 4 calories in every gram of protein, 160 times 4, 640 calories. So I think that's I just wanted to point it out, Roman. I don't know if you're talking about that in this too as well, but I just don't think that's like too much calories to ask for, if that makes sense. If you do the math, I mean, I think it's like a good start, and but go ahead, Roman. Sorry.
No. So that's great, and I'm glad you went into that because that's exactly where I was going to go next. So the kind of the holy grail for quote unquote bodybuilders, but also like when people are first getting into fitness, is that 1 gram per pound of 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Fantastic. I still try to keep that in mind. But if you were dieting, for example, and you wanted to maintain as much muscle mass as possible, and let's say you went off of that 2.5 to 3 grams of protein per kilogram, or 1.2 to 1.5, you're looking closer at something like 182 upwards of 240 grams of protein. So a significant amount more when you're like deep into a dieting phase. And the reason being is you want to like maximize the amount of muscle retention as possible. Now there will be certain effects like because you'll be cutting pretty hard if you're doing something like that. Like I will be cutting like decently hard. We'll see how I do. You can get a like a feeling of like the look of like flatness, just because like my carbs will have to be that much lower. Your carbs might have to be that much lower to hit your dieting goals, for example. But protein can help with that process to make you feel full, to aid in like the dieting process. So that was one of the tips or the talking points that I wanted to go into. Any questions about that?
No, I always kept it simple like that. Like, hey, if you're trying to gain weight, maybe try to stick to more closer to like 1 pound, per body weight. If you're losing, that's where Roman was saying like up the protein. And I'll tell you, for my 2 bodybuilding shows, when I competed at 160 and 165, I'm pretty sure I was eating close to like 180 to like 210 grams of protein every day. And that's, I don't know if there's exactly what Roman was just saying. That was just, I'm telling you off the top of my head, like that's pretty much like where I was at with like protein numbers.
Yeah, no,
and if you're maintaining, I think it depends on how you want to spend your calories. I think if you want to do the 1 pound per gram or do a little bit less, a little bit more, I wouldn't, the little less thing, it's like here and there about it, but like if you do enjoy like a little bit more protein, like that's probably not going to be a problem. If you want to stay around 1 gram per pound, then maintaining, like I feel like you're pretty much not in a deficit or a surplus. So it's like you're not really trying to fight for that muscle. Also, you're not trying to grow as much. I guess you kind of can if you're maintaining and try to like maybe loosen some fat. I don't know. It just depends. But I just try to keep it simple for everybody who's listening, because a lot of the things is a lot of people will go further into detail, and sometimes it's confusing. But I know like Roman's spitting like really good facts. So I just want to just make it general as well while you're talking.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next talking point I wanted to cross into was if you are sensing a lack of recovery, if you're sore longer than you typically would be. I consume a diet which is mostly ad libitum. I just kind of eat whatever I want. I eyeball things.
Ad libitum.
Ad libitum. So it's just like a free or open diet. So
I know.
Yeah.
I
It's a funny word, right? Or funny phrase. Ad libitum. So like if I do Greek yogurt, for example, know that like 3/4 of a cup is 16 grams of protein. So for one brand that I get, or it's 25 for another brand. So I'll eyeball about a cup, for example, and I'll be like, okay, so if it's the 25 grams per 3/4 cup, then I know that roughly it's about 30 to 35 grams of protein. Then I'll add some like berries into that. And then if like right now, since I'm on like a little like maintenance / gain phase, I'll add like a scoop of sun butter. So that's like another 7 grams of protein. So that would get me somewhere between like 40 to 45 grams of protein, as an example. Yeah, so I just kind of like eyeball things. So if you find that you're having trouble recovering with certain things, one of the variables that you can isolate is, am I potentially not consuming enough protein? And then you can try and see if you can bump up to that 1.2 to 1.5 range, which will also help with the third point, which is satiation, which I kind of talked about in the first point. So that's a variable that you can play around with. It's really hard to consume, let's say, like 2 full large chicken breast and not feel full afterwards.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I just ate like 8 ounces or like 10 ounces, like probably like 45 minutes to an hour ago. And like, obviously I ate stuff with it, but like, it just, I mean, I'm still full. And like, after this podcast, I probably will leave within like 5 or 10 minutes and I'm going to go work out, just like Roman is about to leave. But like, I'll tell you, like, yeah, but go ahead.
Is that steak or chicken?
Chicken.
Chicken, nice. All right, sweet.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would love to eat steak every day. I mean, hey, I believe me, if I had the money and the funds to, well, we probably do. It just, try to be as frugal as possible.
Yeah. Now it makes sense. You have a good reason to be frugal now. On a side note, what was I gonna say? I've gotten really into making jerk chicken recently. My partner really into jerk chicken. So I'll have to send you a recipe for that, bud. It's really stinking good. and then a
I
super
I still use that rice pudding recipe you gave me.
yeah.
I just made it last week, so I made
That's
pistachio rice pudding. So
I haven't made rice pudding in so long. I should make it. I haven't made
I
rice pudding.
tip to anyone who it doesn't really care about maintaining or like gaining weight right now. Like right now is like because after the marathon and stuff, just make yourself a good big bowl of rice pudding.
You know, like it's so easy to get like 500 additional calories. Like
Yeah.
you, yeah, it's just like, oh my god, it goes down so smooth. That's how I got to about 180 pounds. Gainz Nation.
Chunky Roman when he used to wear the stringers playing basketball at 180 pounds.
Oh my god, what was I doing?
I think if you guys check out our podcast picture, unless it's the one with our Halloween outfits, we might have posted it in the Gainz podcast Instagram. But Roman was in a stringer, and I'm pretty sure you were either 170 or 180 in that stringer with the light blue stringer. Is that what the color was? See what everything?
I was definitely 170 range, somewhere in there. Probably 175, 178. Oh my god. But my super food. No, just kidding. But my super food that I've discovered recently is actually
chicken?
is porridge. Porridge is unbelievable. So I'll have to drop a recipe for that to Gainz Nation as well. It's an unbelievable way to get a ton of carbs in you. And
Yeah, I don't know if you follow him. He's like OG YouTube. But he has like a recipe book for like higher protein, like lower fattish, sometimes like lower carbish meals. Michael Corey. But he does like most of the recipes on his Instagram where you don't have to buy the book. Like so I've pinned a couple, but like he does like a high protein chicken Alfredo pasta with like lower fat. And we've done it. We did like high protein, lower fat, like chicken pot pies. But yeah, they're out there. You just, yeah. So because of the episode is about protein. But like, I always dig those like meals because like, I'm the type of person, Roman's the type of person where I could eat chicken and rice all the time. I can eat like, salmon and, fresh cut potatoes where I make them myself and I bake them instead of fry them. It's like stuff like that is like always going to go down. But like if it's something like, chicken Alfredo pasta, like sign me up. Jerk chicken porridge, sign me up. Like I go out of my way to make that all day.
It's unbelievable. It's so good. And it's a great way to get some carbs in you. Last but not least, the last point I want to talk about is you should increase your protein intake to help you improve your sleep. So there's some cool evidence that's emerged around this. So people have always talked about like tryptophan, for example, which is amino acid, and its ability to. So from what I understand, it acts as a precursor to the neurotransmitter serotonin, and serotonin has a function in melatonin production, and melatonin is extremely important for good sleep hygiene. So the study that I read, which looked at individuals in Singapore, they looked at both, I think, what they call sleep efficiency as well as like sleep latency. So like the amount of time you get up and like when you get up, if you're able to get back to sleep, like if you have to use the restroom or something like that, if you're able to get back to sleep relatively quickly. So people will say like, why not just take melatonin? And the reason being is melatonin is gonna change its makeup in your gut, and it's not necessarily going to be put back together as melatonin. Whereas tryptophan is and or has demonstrated efficacy in being able to improve individual sleep. Now, I'm sure there's some caveats, like if you're pretty close to optimize on your sleep, taking like a tryptophan supplement, would it help? Probably not. Some of the recommendations I saw, they encourage you to take tryptophan like in and of itself, so a supplement by itself, like in between meals or before you've eaten, or like quite a long time after a meal, like several hours after a meal. The reason being is something like if you took a carbohydrate with it, for example, let's say you ate some turkey with I don't know, potatoes or like a rice dish or something like that, it appears that carbohydrates can help to interfere with the transference of tryptophan through like the blood-brain barrier. So I wouldn't say to do anything crazy other than if you are having some sleep issues, and increasing your protein intake is like a low risk, like high potential reward situation, meaning it better, it could potentially improve your ability to adhere to a diet, as we've discussed, through greater satiation. It can potentially assist with recovery, and it can potentially assist with better sleep hygiene. Why not give it a try?
Yeah, and to add to that last piece is sometimes I'll have like a big bowl of Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and like maybe some grapes or blueberries at the end of the night, and if it's really filling and it's really tasty, like it tastes like almost like dessert, and I know it's going to be good for my recovery, and it's going to be good for me at the end of the day. Not to say that I wouldn't eat, not to say I wouldn't eat Dove chocolate hearts, because I know it just passed Valentine's Day. I don't get me wrong. On the other night I'd probably eat some of that too. But I'm just saying for you folks that are trying to up your protein intake, and I think that's like a great way to do that, or in the morning. If you like something sweet in the morning, but yeah, dessert, and you can actually freeze it, and it has like ice cream like texture. And if you put it in a bowl and put it in your freezer, but it's probably got to sit for like 2 or 3 hours. Don't try to do it like quickly, but it's like a nice little ice cream treat. So that's all I got.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks, Gainz Nation. If you guys please like us, subscribe on YouTube, follow us, please, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.